We are going to start live here in just a moment, guys. And we're going to have a serious adult discussion about all of the crap that's been going on in the news. Stick around for it. It's going to get hot and heavy. All right, guys, we are going to start in 3, 2, and uno. There we go. How are you? I'm going to change the name to Rob Carson's What the F. Hi. Welcome to the show. Let me get this out of the way because I don't want to, distract from my glorious face. How are you? Today is the 2nd of June 2020. And I have a family member who is down at a protest in Kansas City. He is protesting police brutality. And I respect him. I respect him for doing it. It is not an easy protest, or it's not a difficult protest. It's not a very difficult protest because everybody's against it. Anti-police brutality protests versus anti-clubbing baby harp seals to death protests. I'm thinking they're right along. You don't have to worry about from the governing party to worry about if you're against the police brutality or you don't want baby harp seals to be clubbed to death. I mean, you're pretty safe. If you're in Hong Kong now and you protest something like, I don't know, free effing speech, then you got something to worry about. But, honestly, you think you have something to worry about, protesting police brutality, which we're all against. That's quite a risk you're taking. I am so goddamned disgusted right now. When you're on the planet long enough, you notice some things and patterns and all that stuff. And I remember when Rodney King was beaten in L.A., and I remember there were those who capitalized on it for a variety of reasons. One of them was an opportunity to say, hey, man, I deserve to loot stores because I'm a pressed man. I remember when I heard a couple talk show hosts, Mr. Limbaugh, talk about it. And I was kind of surprised. I was like, dude, these people are totally oppressed. And he said, no, bullshit. It's not an excuse to wreck things. It's not an excuse to steal stuff. Martin Luther King Jr. would be ashamed of what we've seen. But you know what? It didn't start today. We have seen these temper tantrums by some people, and I'm not trying to take away from the magnitude of the situation. I was in Cincinnati in 2003 when a man was high on joints soaked in embalming fluids, and he was a black man. He was 41 years old, and he passed out on the lawn of a White Castle. Oddly enough, oddly named White Castle. When police arrived to awaken him, he woke up swinging, and they took him down. And because he was very morbidly obese with heart disease and high on embalming fluid, he died. And Cincinnati burned. I was there. I remember. Move forward a few years. And I'm not saying that all of these are without merit. Certainly, George Floyd was a murder. Is George Floyd's death a result of systematic racism or a cop who is a murderous dick? I'm going to go with the later. I'm going to go with the latter. I posted something earlier today because I have taken a beating in social media because I have the audacity to question some things and to not be, I'm not woke today. I was woke years ago. But somehow, some liberal white people are suddenly woke about the crisis and the murder and all of that this time. When this happens, it is horrible. When it is the fault of a police officer. When other instances happen that are ginned up by race baiters in the country, not so much. If you'll take your time to just listen, which most of you won't. Mike Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, was stoned out of his effing mind. When he went after a police officer, he charged the police officer. The police officer whose career has been ruined shot him dead because he was a very large, irrational human being charging a police officer. And Ferguson burned, and the country burned. Trayvon Martin. Trayvon Martin was in a neighborhood, and there was an overzealous wannabe cop, George Zimmerman, who was following this kid around. Not a good idea. Stupid, certainly. Trayvon Martin heard that Mr. Zimmerman might be homosexual, and he was going after him. Trayvon Martin attacked him, and George Zimmerman had a gun. I'm not saying I don't think that George Zimmerman is a hero by any means, dear God in heaven, no. But Trayvon Martin was not sort of an innocent kid going to get Skittles and iced tea. And I remember Skittles and iced tea. And I was really mad about it. I was pissed off. Until I learned the facts. I heard a fellow broadcaster earlier mentioning that 2 or 3 weeks ago, there were people who were attempting to protect their businesses. They were protesting a government shutdown of everything. There was a gymnasium in New Jersey. There was a hair salon in Texas. All they wanted to do was open their businesses against an unlawful government edict. And according to the media, that was unlawful and terrible. And now we have our media supporting violence and looting. It's not about protest. Peaceful protests are easy in times like these. They're easy. Police brutality bad. Oh, my God, I've really stepped out there and I made a statement. Oh, my God, police brutality bad. Yeah, you know what? I live that every day. Every day I've said that for 30 goddamn years. Every day of my life since I was born, I've been against racism. But by God, the new woke generation who's discovering this for the very first effing time, Crystal. I've known about this forever, and I'm so goddamn tired of being preached against. I'm so tired of being preached about what a racist I am and what sort of white privilege I have. And if you lived my life, you wouldn't want to. If you lived what I've been through, you have no idea. It's not a life that you would probably like to have lived before I got married with my children. But because of the tint of my skin, I am privileged. I've had everything handed to me on a silver platter. Meanwhile, we have an ex-president who was educated abroad, grew up in was raised by white people in Hawaii, went to the Punahou school, went to Ivy League schools, and lived the life that most anyone would appreciate. Barack Obama had a giant chip on his shoulder. Man, I would love to be Beyonce or Jay-Z. I would love, man, oh man, I'd love to be Shaquille O'Neal. I would love to be Oprah. And don't you suppose there are white coal miners in West Virginia who would like to have that life? But they're privileged. Hello, Tim and John and Henry and Larry. All you guys, I'm going to check my other page here because I am looking terribly handsome. And Sam and Frank. Frank, you know what? Suck it. Suck it. I'm not preaching to the choir, Frank. I'm preaching to the non-choir who tries to destroy me on social media and takes down my posts on Facebook, on my Facebook page. Okay? So suck it, Frank. I have a video I want to share. Joe Biden did just an awful photo op today in a church in Delaware, and he knelt before black people, showing his prone position and really pandering. I mean, dear God in heaven, pandering. Let me see if I can find that. I need to find that picture. 60 officers in Fayetteville, North Carolina, surprised protesters when they kneeled in solidarity with regard to George Flynn. Everybody kneels in regard to George Flynn. Everybody I know thinks it was a murder. Everybody I know thinks this police officer needs to go to jail for life. I want you to watch this. We're either all in this together or this tears us apart. I would vote for the former. Are you watching this? Are you watching this? Dear God in heaven, what a moment. What a moment. Oh, my God. This is glorious. This is beautiful. Can we all just take a break and do that? Do you know how many police officers have to go to work today? And they're scared. They don't know if they're going to make it home. Can you imagine a kid sending mom and dad or mom or dad off to battle, not knowing if they'd come back? That's a brilliant piece of video. That's a brilliant moment. I have been woke for a long time. I don't need to be preached again. I don't need to be preached to. I don't need to be accused of being a racist because I'm white. I don't need to be told by friends and family members how terrible I am. And I certainly don't need to be told by people who are just now getting this. I am tired of being preached to. I have never called a black person an N-word, but you know what? Anything that I say, because of the color of my skin, will be construed as racism. Anything that I say will be construed as I am some sort of a racist, Archie Bunker type, even though I've lived this for 30 effing years. Even though for 30 years I have been talking about the breakdown of the African-American family. Even though for 30 years I've been a supporter of fostering and adopting children, and the foster care system in this country is overwhelmed by black kids who've been given up for adoption and white parents who are willing to step forward and help out. For 30 years, I've been talking about the black abortion rate being 65 to 80%. For 30 years, I've been talking about the murder rate of African Americans versus African Americans being 10 times the national average. For 30 years, I've been saying, my God in heaven, can we save another generation? I care. I don't care about the color of your skin. I just want children to live the American dream. And if you're willing to say it's just systemic racism, then show me. Then show me. I am tired of it. I'm tired of Democrat politicians promising better days. I am tired of Democrat politicians showing up at black funerals and stoking the fire. I'm tired of inner city black schools failing profoundly. I'm tired of kids who try to succeed in those schools being demonized for being a traitor to their race. But I'm white, so I'm privileged. Yeah. Despite everything I've been through in my life, I'm privileged. You don't know what I've been through. You have no idea. If you want to sit down and have a cup of coffee, I'll tell it to you, and you'll go, wow. That's the stuff of nightmares at times. If you knew. But I'm privileged. All righty. Oh, this is funny. Brian Jordan Bartels, 20-year-old man from Pittsburgh, suspected of inciting violence during a protest, was escorted by his parents leaving the protest. He's my son's age. He's 20 years old. Here is the protest where he's destroying a cop car.
Oh, somebody
And he's a little prick.
is busting up the cop car. No.
If this was my son, it would get ugly. But he's an adult. So as my son, I would say, you're going to jail, Pookie.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you? It is not.
Look at this spoiled little prick. He's got his mask done up. If this was my son, I'd walk out there and smack him like goddamned head.
It is not black people. It is not black people. What are you doing? What are you doing?
If that's your kid, bap, right upside the head.
You're not helping us.
Look at this.
Now, the peaceful protesters are saying, what the hell? What the hell are you doing? And that's common sense. I get it. This little prick is an Antifa member. And Crystal and Doug and all you guys who refuse to admit that Antifa is a radical leftist organization bent on the destruction of America, you need to do your research.
This man just busted up this cop car. And y'all say we are the rioters. Y'all say we are the problem. It is white people. Stop, my guy, stop. You're not even fucking black. Cut that shit out before you get roundhouse, bro.
Pardon the language there. Now, I get it from this gentleman who is an African-American doing the play-by-play. I get it. Unfortunately, there are a lot of African-Americans who are taking advantage of the situation in inner cities and looting and stealing. And honestly, there are some people, I'm not certainly generalizing, but there are some, I mean, you are being played by a fool. You are a fool. If you're in an inner city in Ferguson and you're a white person, you know, it's okay if you're black to burn down a building and steal stuff. You are being played. What really bothers me is that there are so many wonderful African-American families that I know who raise their families, and they are determined to raise their children in a whole family with faith, and they're ignored. Here's the, I'm going to call him the little prick being arrested, going to the police station. This is Brian Jordan Bartels being led to the police station by his parents. I'm surprised they didn't have a hold of his ear. You are going to be in so much trouble when you get home, little mister.
Mr. Bartels, do you have anything to say about what happened on Saturday?
I would be embarrassed. I would be embarrassed for this little prick.
Anything you want to
Why
say?
did you destroy that police car?
He's like, this is between me, my wife, and my little prick son.
Do you have anything to say?
And these parents should not be harped on. It's their son who made the decision to be an idiot. To be an idiot. Let's move on to some other stuff. Oh, this I didn't share with you. This is in Washington, D.C., a couple nights ago. There's an Antifa protester who's a spoiled little white prick, like the guy who I just shared. And Antifa was created by leftists. It was the fallout of the Occupy movement, which Democrats and Barack Obama never said anything about. My son was accosted by an Antifa or an Occupy protester when I was in Washington, D.C. around 9 years ago. I was hosting the Turkey Trot for a homeless organization, and this prick bastard comes up and assaults my white son and screams at him. An Occupy. There was a pointless movement that had no meaning whatsoever, and I chased the mother effer off. And that movement morphed into the Antifa movement, which became some sort of a folk hero movement in the media and with Barack Obama. And now it's become this. This is an Antifa member in Washington, D.C., attempting to break up some of the marble walkways and use them as ammunition to break out store windows, and people saying, you know what, enough is enough, let's turn him over to police. I love this. There you go, you little prick. Off to jail with you. I love this. Yay, yay. We can work together. He's kind of got gray hair. He's not a child. How do I say this gingerly? Oh, yeah. Goodbye, you little bitch.
I need him. He ain't do shit. Get him. I need him. Okay.
Yay! Yay! Here's another protest. I believe this is in Seattle, where people used common sense. which we can all relate to. And I think this is a staged thing. I don't know. This guy says, hey, let's flip over a truck. I don't know if this is a staged thing, but honestly, I'm not going to give you a ribbon for common sense, but it's worth mentioning.
Oh! Can you flip this over? Can you flip it over?
I have a French accent. I am thinking that maybe this is perhaps staged to make the opposition look good.
What? Are you kidding me?
Sacre bleu, I would like some chicken cordon bleu.
You're asking us to flip over the truck?
Okay, no.
We do not instigate.
kidding me?
We do not instigate because it comes back on the black and brown people.
Flip over the fucking truck?
No.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is kind of staged because he is a French person saying perhaps we should take burning baguettes and burn up the car.
We do not instigate.
This man just asked us to
Perhaps tonight after the protest, we will watch Ratatouille.
Over the truck!
No.
With his camera out!
No. I just saw it down. What is it doing?
Over the fucking truck with his camera out!
What?
Where you at?
What is that?
Wait.
What's going on?
This is the exact problem right now.
What's that? What's that?
Hold it.
Congratulations to those who thought turning over a truck was actually not a good thing to do. I mean, what a gigantic moralistic movement. Like people going and protesting police brutality because everybody's for it, right? No, not really. Go to Hong Kong and protest China.
No.
There you go. Here's a woman in Minneapolis who was disabled. Black woman living in a black neighborhood. And these opportunists decided to, come in and wreck stuff and burn stuff. Here's what she has to say about her grocery store and, I don't know, all the other things that are around her being burnt to a crisp.
Been hearing your frustrations, and I would love for you to share them with the community right now because you and so many others are going through such a rough time. How was last night?
Scary.
This is not a Black life that matters. Does not matter one little bit.
I live in the high-rise right back here, and I seen them as they came down Lake Street.
I've been there. I lived there. These are people, their homes are in these high rises. They're not much, but it's what they have. And her life has been destroyed.
But then they turned and started coming over here, and I'm sitting out looking out my window. And they went
You poor girl.
right to
You're God in
Office
heaven.
Max, the dollar store, and every store over here that I go to.
You know what? I feel for her and I pray for her, but I can't because I'm white, you see.
I have nowhere to go now. I have no way to get there because the buses aren't running. These people did this for no reason. It's not going to bring George back here. George is in a better place than we are. Last night, I'm going to be honest, I wish I was where George was because this is ridiculous.
I want you to listen to that again. Listen to her. Listen to her.
It's not going to bring George back here. George is in a better place than we are. Last night, I'm going to be honest, I wish I was where George was because this is ridiculous. These people are tearing up our livelihood. This is the only place I could go to shop. And now I don't have anywhere to go. I don't have anywhere to get there.
Honestly, don't know where to go from there. Congratulations, Antifa. Congratulations, Black Lives Matter. Good job. Good job, kids. Good job. Wow. Wow. Spoiled, entitled YouTuber. His brother was kind of funny before he became a complete dick. Jake Paul. 23 years old, spotted among the looters, even though he's a millionaire. He posted a video recently about $1 million vacation. When is the last time you had $1 million vacation? Oh, yeah, never. If you're lucky in your life, you make that much before you retire. Here is Jake Paul as a part of the protests in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Honestly,
Jake, you're a little prick, and you have one too.
Oh my God! Oh my God! It's getting crazy. I swear to God. I swear to God. Yo, Logan. Yo, Logan. Wait. Yeah, go. Nigga, that's not looking bad.
This little prick is the same as the other little prick earlier, the 20-year-old. Same thing, but he's a millionaire.
Go.
Shoot every one of these mother effers. Sorry, shoot non-lethally, just enough to cause maiming.
Go.
fucking idiots, bro. Literally, I walked right here. I walked right up to there. These idiots tear gassed me. I ain't doing shit, bro.
I'm doing shit, bro. I'm a white guy, bro. Dear God in heaven. Hello to Ben and James and Hefe in St. Louis. Hello, Hefe. How are you? Just a quick time to promote myself. Did an appearance yesterday for my very first time as a national panelist on a TV show. It was a thrill for me on Newsmax TV, and I really appreciate it. To those like Norm and Bill, yeah, look, I'm doing TV. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. Joe. Hi, Jeff. Or Joe, how are you? John as well. John Ritter. All right. Well, let's move forward. We've got some other stuff to get to, guys. And you know what? Let me put aside the script. It's not 1968. We are witnessing a breakdown of society. We are witnessing an abdication of individual responsibility. If you think this is all about systemic racism, when the black murder rate is 10 times the national average, when the abortion rate in African American communities is 60%, when the homes that are, fatherless in African American communities are 80%, we have to come to an agreement here. We have to realize that there is systemic racism and there is also personal responsibility. There's also failed policy. If you're not willing to admit all of these things, then things will never get better. Hello, Gabe. Hello, Dylan. How are you, my brother? Good to see you. I've got some funny stuff, but I don't want to play it right now. Oh, okay, hold on. This is the funniest thing I've seen. A complete abandonment of what we've talked about. This is a piece of video. I believe it's CNN. And there is a cheesecake factory that has just been looted. And a CNN anchor can't figure out where the cheesecake came from. Listen to this, guys. This is absolutely hilarious.
Well, that is saying something, given the experience you have covering these protests, Deborah. And it sounds like from your experience, you see someone actually.
Sorry, this is from KIRO TV in Seattle. Go ahead.
Well, that is saying something, given the experience you have covering these protests, Deborah. And it sounds like from your experience, you see someone actually walking away with a cheesecake there after the Cheesecake Factory was looted. Unclear where they may have gotten that, but.
Unclear where the Cheesecake Factory they got, or the cheesecake, where it came from, even though the Cheesecake Factory is literally feet away, that has just been looted. Let's watch this idiocy again.
From your experience, you see someone actually walking away with a cheesecake there after the Cheesecake Factory was looted. Unclear where they may have gotten that, but.
It'd kind of be like saying, we're outside of a looted McDonald's, and we honestly don't know where the protester got his Happy Meal. No idea. No idea. Glenn and Carol. Hello, guys. How are you? WOIO in Ohio. Some people who owned a bakery about to get sacked by looters said, you know what? We got guns. Here's what happens.
All right, check this out. This photo has been all over social media. 3 men, heavily armed, standing in front of their business during the protests on Saturday evening. See, New Yorker has the story from Playhouse Square.
Now, this is in downtown Cleveland, by the way. And they said, you know what? We're done.
All up and down Euclid, businesses were vandalized during the protests. But the folks here at Corbo's Bakery, they took matters into their own hands to protect their business.
Oh, he's got a rifle.
Take a look at this video. Father and sons armed with shotguns in front of their family-owned business. Corbo's Bakery.
Oh, this is the new prone position by Antifa protesters to get on their knees before somebody, even though they are physically threatening people involved.
At Playhouse Square on Euclid. Oh! This Facebook video was live streamed by Rob Rash, who was documenting the protests as demonstrators reached Corbo's.
Rob Rash, by the way. Rob Rash? Really? Okay. Go ahead.
Morning 19 news cameras were rolling as dozens stopped by to check out the aftermath. There was mixed reaction about the response.
If this was my business, these places have been locked down for months with this COVID, and for people to come down here and use a horrific thing as an excuse to damage people's property.
Kaboom!
You see people, they are so adamant about protecting their business more than they are about protecting lives. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, see, because the business actually keeps people employed and feeds their family, you moron.
Like I said on my Instagram feed, like when protests happen, they always talk about you can't combat violence with violence, but they never want to talk about the violence that caused this in the first place.
Really, like what? What there, Junior? What about that Pookie? Honestly, what have these people done with their opening of their businesses that have promoted violence?
Well, we got to protect, what we have. And if
Amen.
We can just stand out front was our thoughts, stand by our door, would be a deterrent. Hey, we're here, just keep on walking. God bless you. Please leave us alone. And, a lot of them did leave us alone, but then, obviously some of them didn't.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. The idiot mayor of New York is saying that police are enough to handle what's happening in New York City tonight. Even though everything has been ransacked, Times Square has been ransacked, de Blasio is a complete and utter ass. See if I got the video of this prick. Hold on. I don't think I have it yet. Bill de Blasio says that, Bill de Blasio says that the National Guard is not necessary. But at the same time, you've got people being attacked, police being attacked, businesses like Macy's, the legendary Macy's, being crushed. Oh, I didn't talk to them about the president. The president and his anti-violence measures, which I think is great because it's time to kick ass and take names. Here is the president talking about what he's going to do.
Americans, my first and highest duty as president is to defend our great country and the American people. I swore an oath to uphold the laws of our nation, and that is exactly what I will do. All Americans were rightly sickened and revolted by the brutal death of George Floyd. My administration is fully committed that for George and his family, justice will be served. He will not have died in vain. But we cannot allow the righteous cries and peaceful protesters to be drowned out by an angry mob. The biggest victims of the rioting are peace-loving citizens in our poorest communities. And as their president, I will fight to keep them safe. I will fight to protect you. I am your president.
He's such a racist.
Of law and order and an ally of all peaceful protesters. But in recent days, our nation has been gripped by professional anarchists, violent mobs, arsonists, looters, criminals, rioters, Antifa, and others. A number of state and local governments have failed to take necessary action to safeguard their residents. Innocent people have been savagely beaten, like the young man in Dallas, Texas, who was left dying on the street, or the woman in upstate New York viciously attacked by dangerous thugs. Small business owners have seen their dreams utterly destroyed. New York's finest have been hit in the face with bricks. Brave nurses who have battled the virus are afraid to leave their homes. A police precinct has been overrun here in the nation's capital. The Lincoln Memorial and the World War II Memorial have been vandalized. One of our most historic churches was set ablaze.
What do you suppose that MLK would say about the Lincoln Memorial being defaced?
A federal law.
This is about Antifa. This is about people who hate the founding of the country, regardless of what has happened. This is not black people defacing the Lincoln Memorial. It's not. It's not. This is out the Antifa, the little prick bastard 20-year-old who was turned in by his parents. This has never been about systemic racism. This is about Antifa. This is about opportunists, people who are taking advantage, realizing that white people are stupid and they can steal shit, and anarchists. That's what it's all about.
Officer,
you are being played for a fool, America. You're being played for a mother effing fool.
In California, an African-American enforcement hero was shot and killed. These are not acts of peaceful...
That is not a black life that matters. Don't you realize, Mr. President, that it has to be at the hands of a white police officer? It's the way it's got to be. Otherwise, the black life doesn't matter. 60, 70% abortion rate in the African-American community doesn't matter. 10 times the African-American against African-American murder rate in this country, including 10 black people murdered in Chicago over Memorial Day weekend. Those don't matter.
Protests.
Only the ones that are politically beneficial to the Democrat Party on the left. Otherwise, kick some dirt on the grave. It's no big deal.
These are acts of domestic terror. The destruction of innocent life and the spilling of innocent blood is an offense to humanity and a crime against God. America needs creation, not destruction. Cooperation, not contempt. Security, not anarchy. Healing, not hatred. Justice, not chaos. This is our mission, and we will succeed. 100%, we will succeed. our country always wins.
And it does. All right. So here's the deal. It's time for me to go. I appreciate you joining me tonight, guys. I really do. I want to thank to Aaron and Chan and Chad Potier and Phil and Tom and dear God and heaven, Sherry and Dylan and Mike. Wow. And James, hello. 2 channels here, actually, and Glenn and Carol and Sam and all you guys. And Nate. Wow, Nate, hello. Guys, I really do appreciate it. I've had to do a tit for tats on social media with people who are unreasonable. For 30 years, I've been an advocate for healing in the African American community. I remember 30 years ago, I was in Columbia, Missouri. I was a kid fresh out of college. I was, Iowa kid. I recalled and I remembered all the violence that was happening in little bitty Columbia, Missouri, in an African American neighborhood. There was a man who was murdered at his own wedding party in a house by another black man. And that's when it kind of hit me. I was like, there's a crisis. There's been a crisis for a while. Since then, I've been an advocate for adoption and foster care, and I've realized that the foster care community is overrun by children of African American descent. I've seen Rodney King, and I've seen all of the sundry gigantic racial attacks, with looting being a part of it. I'm not woke suddenly. I've been woke for a long time. For all of you who are experiencing white guilt and you're just now waking up to this, dear God in heaven, wake the fuck up. Wake the fuck up. Because you're not racist just because you're born white, okay? You're not racist because of it. I'm tired of this nonsense. I'm tired of this bullshit. I'm tired of my children being called privileged. Jesus Christ in heaven. Tired of it. You been to China lately? You watch the Chinese Olympic team? They're all Chinese. You ever been to, you ever watch the Somali Olympic team? They're all Somalians. See the American Olympic team? Doesn't matter. Honestly, it ain't 1968, and I'm so goddamn tired of defending this shit while anarchists take over stuff, while people, opportunists steal shit. And Antifa spoiled little white kids from the suburbs who played soccer for 10 years and never got a scholarship and graduated with a worthless degree and never got sunburned, never had a skin knee, you little pussies. So done with this shit. Hey, guess what? There's racism in France. Yeah, there he is. Done with this. If you want to commit an act of violence in this country to promote some sort of whatever, if you want to loot, you need to be arrested. If you threaten somebody physically because you are a looter or a rioter, you need to be shot. I know. Sucks. Having to grow up. Thank you for joining me tonight, guys. I do appreciate it. Have a glorious evening. You can find me on Facebook at Rob Carson Show, on Twitter at Rob Carson, and on YouTube at Rob Carson Show as well. Have a glorious evening. I pray for peace, but quite honestly, I'm tired of the bullshit. I'm tired of the destruction. I'm tired of the looting, and it's time to call in some people who want to end it. All right. God bless you. See you tomorrow.